Hi, this is Greg. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about how screenwriters succeed and TV writers. It's all about diagramming. You can call it deconstructing, you can call it breaking it down. Diagramming is my term for it. When you take a script and you break it down to see its component parts and how it works. Doesn't matter whether you like the story, whether it's your favorite show, that's irrelevant. Probably better that it not be your favorite show. We're not going to do this as audience members. I'm telling you about the first assignment, which is due in a week on Wednesday, the 15th at noon. You got to email the documents to me by Wednesday at noon, the 15th of June. We're talking about looking at a script the way a mechanic looks at a car, whether he's looking at a Hyundai or a Maserati, a Mercedes-Benz or a Chevy. He or she is going to be able to pick up that hood and understand the inner workings. Okay? Doesn't matter whether the mechanic likes driving the car or thinks it's a good-looking car or a cool car or a well-made car. What's mostly important is that the mechanic, the screenwriter, in this case the TV writer, can understand what's under the hood. So we're going to do a lot of that in the first couple of weeks before we do any real writing. Okay? Excuse me. So how we do that is go to Canvas, go to Files on Canvas. You're going to see that I have uploaded 2 scripts that you're going to read. One is the pilot for Modern Family called My American Family. One is The Bicycle Thief or Modern Family Episode 2. I've also uploaded Greg's partial mod fam diagram of pilot, which you're going to look at, and example trophy wife diagrams from students. So here's how this works. Here's how you do the assignment. You open up or you print out My American Family, the Modern Family pilot. Okay? You're going to read it. At the end of every scene, you're going to write a sentence that describes that scene. You're going to put the action of the scene in caps. That's hugely important. Okay? Why are we doing this? 2 reasons. To know the show better, which is critically important as a skill, because you would never get hired to write for a show unless you've seen every episode of that show and read every script and know it inside out. That's how you get hired. And also being an amazing writer helps. And 2, we're going to do it to coach ourselves to remember that action is hugely important when you're writing any kind of dramatic material. The biggest mistake screenwriters make on a script, a feature script or a TV script, a sitcom or a drama, same thing for a play, same thing for a sketch comedy, 3-page sketch. They don't put enough action. The protagonists of the piece don't have enough resistance. They don't have to take enough action. As a result, the scene's not usually funny because there aren't enough sparks. There isn't enough conflict, which I'll tell you more about in coming weeks. Conflict is hugely important to all forms of dramatic writing. You may know that already, but I'm going to keep reinforcing it. When we do our diagrams, we capitalize every action that we discern from every scene. So if I was having dinner in a script that I'm making up for you now, with my son and my daughter and my wife. And in that dinner, in that 3-page dinner scene, whether it was a comedy or a drama, I criticized my wife. I made a joke to my daughter to make her laugh, and I ignored my son. That scene, that sentence, that 1-sentence entry in the diagram about that fantasy script I just made up would be Greg criticizes in caps his wife, comma. Now I forget what it was. Makes, with the word makes in caps, his daughter laugh, and ignores, with the word ignores in caps, his son. And if they had actions that they played back to me, if the son jumped on the table and sang, and it would put, his son jumps on the table and sings to get his father's attention. Very broadly stated. Okay, so look at Greg's partial mod fam diagram, and then look at the example trophy wife diagrams. You're going to see that my students do this. You write down a sentence for every scene. Sometimes it can be more than 1 sentence if it's a complicated scene, and you focus on the action that the characters are playing. Avoid passive verbs. Don't tell me Greg feels bad because his wife slaps him. Tell me his wife slaps him. How I feel doesn't matter for this exercise, okay? How you feel is very important in a drama, but it's not important for this exercise. This exercise is all about focusing on the actions characters take. They could be big actions. Bill stabs Caesar, stabs in caps. They can be small and very subtle actions. Wendy undermines George's self-esteem, undermines in caps. Okay? Have I made that clear? Great, because I got to keep this video short so it's not hard for you to load. Okay? So you're going to write 2 diagrams, one for My American Family, the pilot, and one for Mod Fam episode 2. These diagrams should be they could be as short as a page and a half. They could be as long as, no longer than 2 full pages of like 8.5 by 11. Does that make sense? Don't get too into the details, of where the characters are. You don't need to tell me the settings. Generally, I know that Modern Family start at home, then they go and do something, then they come back. Just focus on the characters and the actions they play and making them as clear and straightforward as possible. Sometimes you have to get past the emotions. Who feels this way or who's neurotic? Don't give me adjectives. Give me actions. Discern the actions. Parse them out. Look at the examples. Write the diagrams. Send them by Wednesday at noon, Wednesday being the 15th of June. Email me at depaulg@newschool.edu with any questions. Okay? This will help you learn the 2 scripts that I'm giving you so you understand Modern Family, how it was written, how it was come up with, what's under the hood, and it will help coach you to what you're going to be doing, which is writing scenes that have a lot of action and ultimately conflict and ultimately humor in the future. Okay? So I'm going to keep it short. Okay, thank you.